everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Ad Project Podcast. I am your co-host, Joe Shelerud, and today I'm joined with Roger from the Ad Advanced team. Roger, it's awesome to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, great to be here. First time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time podcast.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
We'll see how I feel at the end.
Will be just great. So for those who are listening, give us a quick rundown on what you do.
I'm a software engineer here. I do a lot of the visual stuff, reports, dashboards, things like that, as well as integrating with Amazon's API and pulling data in and whatever Matt thinks up on the fly to do. So, yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So Roger and I, he'll always send me links on different things, and I will see the link, and then I'll immediately go over and start talking with him. And we've had a lot of conversations lately on the updated shopping experience within certain LLM models like ChatGPT. And so for this podcast, we thought it'd be kind of fun to just kind of open up the conversation. Like everybody, we're trying to navigate through all these changes in AI and figure out currently what's happening right now, but also future case, where is this all going, and what's the different trajectories look like? I would struggle with that word.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what we wanted to talk through first, maybe give us a quick update. So ChatGPT just rolled out a new feature. What is it? What can you do?
They call it instant checkout. And that's where, now when they surface product reviews or product suggestions, when you're looking for, hey, what are the best shoes for summer or something of that, you can now buy through ChatGPT, which unlocks a monetization stream for them that they didn't have before. And I think that's kind of super interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. We've talked about this for a while, where it's like, all right, I'm doing a lot more product research using Gemini and ChatGPT lately. Have been my two go-tos. Yeah. And I've actually been leaning more towards ChatGPT lately. The model, while version 5 had its struggles initially, it seems to be routing things pretty well now, at least for me, for general requests. And so I've been going there a lot lately and doing product research. There's many times where I'll just even ask, Gemini seems to be pretty solid. Hey, can you find me a cheaper price for this? And so I found myself going to ChatGPT or Gemini more often for product research. But there's still the high friction point on the actual purchase. And so what's cool with this now is, it's a very limited version at this point, but what I could do is I could use ChatGPT kind of as my gateway to research products and then be able to purchase directly within ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the structure around this? What's it look like?
Yeah. When I look at this type of stuff, I don't think of it so much from the user perspective, but obviously from a user, it's quicker, it's easier. But, from a seller perspective and from a business, there's, like you said, there's friction. ChatGPT now gets to push it directly to you. They get to take their cut, which I think is probably the most interesting thing. As we've talked about, okay, users are shopping here. That removes buyers from Google and from search and Amazon even, and they're doing their searching and you can't advertise on ChatGPT. How do they monetize that? And obviously they care about trust, right? I think most users, if they started using surfaced ads in the actual text answer, I think they balk at that pretty quick.
Yep.
So this is kind of a way that, in the same way, like a marketplace, they're just being a marketplace at this point and becoming even playing field for all products. At least that's what they say.
Yep.
Now there's kind of an interesting thing in there of they will optimize based on what's easiest for the user. And if you can instant check out from ChatGPT, well, that's probably what they're going to say is the easiest for the user.
Sure.
So now they're at least incentivizing you to sell your products through them. You can't do instant checkout unless you actually go out and make an agreement with ChatGPT.
Sure.
It's not just I have this protocol that's now available. They're going to figure it out. No, you have to sign an agreement, agree to give them a cut if someone buys. So that's, and then also embedded in there is part of that is you can now give ChatGPT a list of your products. They call it a product feed that they will then index. And so if you're not giving them your product data for them to index, is your product going to show up there now naturally as time goes on?
Sure.
Probably not, and obviously unless there's nothing else available. But,
Yep.
So that's kind of, if you want your stuff to show up in there, you're going to have to probably get on this, because in a year down the road, most people will, I assume.
Yeah. So in current status, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Etsy is tied in right now.
Etsy, yeah.
And then Shopify is going to be added.
Yeah.
But along with this, now they've opened up, or they've created kind of this open source protocol.
Yeah.
Like what is that?
So Agentic Commerce Protocol, ACP, I think is what it's called. It's kind of similar to the MCP protocol that for tooling that Claude made. But this is focused on, obviously, commerce transactions. They worked on it in partnership with Stripe, which I think is interesting, just kind of in what they want to do and don't want to do, because they're kind of aiming to be, as big as a tech company can be.
Sure.
What are they bringing in-house?
Yeah.
This part they've opened up with Stripe. They don't want to be a merchant of record. They want Stripe to handle all that, or you to handle all that if your shop, does it yourself. But yeah, I mean, that means that as we go forward here, I assume the other LLMs that want to do commerce are going to adopt that protocol, and ChatGPT will have the leg up in that it created it first. When they want to update it, they'll update it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is how open source works, and that's the advantage of doing it that way.
Yeah.
And then from Stripe's advantage, if it turns out that people use Meta to do most of their shopping, and Meta uses the same protocol, Meta's probably going to partner with Stripe to run the transaction as well.
Yeah. And so the protocol itself, like, it doesn't lock in, say, you don't have to go through ChatGPT. It's open for any LLM to integrate.
Yeah.
And so it's ChatGPT, or I guess OpenAI, and Stripe who have initially developed this, and they're rolling it out.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make this the industry standard where,
all
right, everybody uses protocol. Now you can plug it into whatever LLM agent you want to use. But then this is the way that data is shared, how the purchase is made, how the transaction is processed. But by being first to make it, you kind of get that control over it too.
It's if, like, you're the one who, created how the internet needs to communicate. Like, the U.S. government did that. They control how the internet works, and the rest of the world adopts it.
Sure.
It's a similar concept for LLMs.
Yeah.
And commerce on LLMs.
Yep. Yeah. So if I look at, so if I'm an independent seller, now this could be a cool new way where if I adopt early, now I may be favored in the LLM results, because now you can purchase directly. So it's a good customer experience.
Yeah.
So there's definitely an incentive to add in this integration, and you're going to get network effects. Whereas more people start using these tools to actually create purchases.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm missing out and I start seeing that this has wide adoption, I think it's just going to drive more and more people to go that route.
Yeah, which network effects is how every big tech company got big. That's once you start rolling, it snowballs fast. And if you can get in there early as a smaller seller, you get your website hooked up to that. I assume most people who are smaller are using something like Shopify or Etsy anyways, so they probably will handle it for you. And the real interesting questions are things like, what do Walmart and Amazon decide to do?
Yeah.
Which we've already talked, that's kind of the speculation.
So this is where these conversations always go. Like, okay, how does it tie into the big players here? How does it tie into the advertising ecosystem? So maybe let's start, before we get into the ad side, which is also very interesting, let's start with like Walmart or Amazon integration. So, all right, we have this agentic commerce protocol. And so it's the way that you can get your products really like sourced on the LLMs to purchase directly.
Yeah.
They could still be sourced from the LLMs, like scraping or searching.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be able to purchase directly. So maybe we'll start with Walmart. I guess, could you see them adopting this?
Obviously, only Walmart knows that for sure. But, like, are they creating LLMs and experimenting with the cloud? And, no, they don't run their own stuff. I think to them, they don't want to create an LM to compete with OpenAI. So it's a no-brainer to integrate.
Sure.
Right. And they are willing to give their data to make OpenAI better because it'll make them better and drive traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Walmart would be much quicker to adopt than Amazon. We'll go through some of the reasons there. Downsides for Walmart, if they would adopt, is they still are driving their ad business. And so you lose out on those ad placements within the LLMs. So it really depends if you're looking at this as an incremental revenue stream or as something that's cannibalizing existing sales. I think Walmart has a much better case to look at this as an incremental revenue stream.
Yeah.
Where, all right, I'm showing up in more and more results. They're really trying to drive their e-commerce business as a whole. This could be a great way to get a leg up on Amazon, where if they're one of the major players that's showing up in ChatGPT, like I've just taken like a mental note, like how much I go to like Google versus Amazon versus like ChatGPT now. Yeah. I don't do Google searches anymore. I go directly to the LLM, and now if I can purchase directly, I could see how that would shift over time too, how I complete the shopping journey.
Yeah.
And so if Walmart's there and I see the seller, I know I can trust them. I know I'm going to get solid fulfillment.
Yeah.
And I can purchase directly there. I think that's a major benefit.
So a question I have is, and I don't really know, it's just a thought I had, is when Walmart makes a sale, how often is it from a Google search currently? Right. Sure. Up in there, Google, you click on a Walmart link. Versus when Amazon makes a sale, how often is it a Google search versus someone went to Amazon to figure out what to buy?
Sure.
Right. And so I don't know the answer to that. My gut says that people go to Amazon to shop, and people, when they buy don't necessarily go to Walmart to shop.
Sure.
At Walmart.
Yeah.
They'll go to Walmart because they were shopping with something. They were searching Google and got led to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
So then it makes more, if you look at that mentality, adding OpenAI is just another place to drive traffic to.
Yeah.
Versus obviously Amazon wants to be the place that they have been, which is I'm going to go shopping. I don't know exactly what for. I'm going to go to Amazon, type in my keyword search, and then find out what I'm going to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I totally agree. And so I think that this is a big potential threat to Amazon. So Amazon has been the gateway for product searches. Like you don't go to Google for product searches. You go to Amazon typically.
Yeah.
Yep. It all depends on what you're purchasing. But if you look at all the key metrics, Amazon is the core product search platform.
Yeah.
And so now if I'm already in these other platforms and I can have it do product research for me and the agent gets to know my preferences really well.
Yeah.
This is where it could become a direct threat. And so I think it's highly unlikely that Amazon would put their products on an open protocol like this. You lose the whole initial shopping experience. You lose all the key insights. You lose all the ad placements. You lose like the core benefits of Prime membership. The products as their source, now you're just another commodity product there versus this whole experience altogether, along with the trust and the experience and everything else like that. But I think the core risk is now, does Amazon start losing ground on being the prime, no pun intended, the prime like shopping start point of the internet?
Yeah.
And so I think it's an interesting thought exercise, and I'm sure that they're going through this right now at Amazon. Like, how do we keep people coming to us first when the product is in mind?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, if ChatGPT, people shop in it because they're thinking about something else, they're trying to have a discussion, and then they end up buying something, similar to how you're researching something in Google and then you end up buying something. That's a different experience than I'm going to buy, you have the intent to buy before you even log into anything and you go to Amazon to go buy.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, Amazon loses that because you don't go to Amazon to do anything except buy.
Mm-hmm.
And so they lose that opportunity, but that's okay if you still, when you do want to buy and you know you're going to buy, you do go to Amazon.
Sure.
Because then you're a super high value impression. Because if I'm making an impression on Amazon, I'm trying to buy something versus an impression on Google doesn't necessarily mean I'm trying to buy something.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you get into these really interesting use cases too, because it's like, all right, if I can go to ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, and I can get, let's say, all the other merchants in the world sign up for this protocol. Yep. And so all the other products are flowing in. But then you have Amazon on the other side, biggest product library in the world. But they just have their own products.
Yeah.
I think that's an issue. And so I'm seeing signs of it right now where it's like the Amazon Buy It Now program, where you can search and you'll get products sourced that are actual third-party products that aren't through Amazon. They don't take a cut or anything else like that. I think you're going to see a really large expansion there. And I think Amazon really needs to lean into that where, all right, I'm going to source products from other areas because first and foremost, I want to be the shopping destination where you always start your product searches.
Yeah.
So I want to be the spot where you can get Amazon products, but you can also find other destinations too. Yep, I lose a cut on that sale, but as long as you're still coming in, I'm getting the shopping insights, I'm getting the ad placements, and you are continually coming to Amazon.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thought item. Could you ever see Amazon actually adopting the ACP to bring in other external products, but not releasing their own inventory on it? So essentially, I could bring in all Shopify and everything else like that into the process.
I mean, I feel like Amazon wants you to be, if I'm not on Amazon, that's my problem as a seller and I need to be there. Right now, there's certain things that they'll already advertise towards, like insurance, right, where that doesn't get purchased through Amazon.
Sure.
And so maybe you can advertise and have a protocol pointing back out to different outside traffic. But I think in every case Amazon wants that product to be on Amazon, wants to be in their warehouse where they can ship it quickly and
they can control the whole experience.
And
that's where it gets weird. So say I search on Rufus and I find a product that's from a third-party site and I buy it directly through Rufus, through the ACP, the protocol.
Yeah.
Now I expect an Amazon shopping experience. And then if I don't get that externally, now it actually reflects poorly upon Amazon too.
It hurts their brand a bit.
It does. Yep. But at the same time, now I could find all those products no matter where they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think it's going to be really interesting if we start seeing wide adoption, especially if some of the major players like Walmart start joining.
Yeah.
That's going to put a lot of pressure on Amazon, where they're either going to have to respond and I think open up their searches to more third parties so they can show all products.
Yep.
Or, all right, how do we compete against this? Or do we have to join it? I think it would take a lot for Amazon to have to join it.
And I mean, Amazon has a lot of inertia in people's minds. So even when, say, you go to ChatGPT and there's instant checkout and you could just buy instantly, you may still prefer the Amazon experience. And so you did all your searching and you found the product, you clicked on the Walmart link, saw the product, and then you went and copy and pasted that title and went to Amazon and just bought it there because you wanted that next day shipping.
Yep.
And obviously, Walmart has a pretty good experience, but if you're going to Shopify or Etsy and it is a 7-day shipping, you're just going to go over to Amazon anyways.
Yeah.
So,
there is just that friction there. Yeah. And so as it gets easier and easier on other sites.
Yeah.
And I start having better and better experiences there.
Yeah. If Amazon doesn't have if Amazon's edge as a better experience goes away, then they have to go to ChatGPT, I think.
Yeah.
If they can say, yeah, you could buy it through there, but we're better. Shopping here is the best place to shop online.
Yeah.
And
that's where I could even see Amazon rolling out their own shopping protocol too.
Yeah.
Where it's it's competing.
Yep.
With the ACP, the open source one, but it's okay, if say you're selling on Shopify or other sites you don't want to sell on Amazon, okay, but you want your products to still show up here, I could see them actually developing a competing protocol.
Yeah.
That still allows them to control more of the experience as you go.
Yeah.
So they can make sure they're not taking some of that reputational damage if they are having issues.
Yeah.
Okay, I have more control over what products are shown or what's included.
Yeah. And then a big component of all of it too is the data side of it. Like, yes, the sale is an important part, but does ChatGPT have that data about you and what led you to that sale, or does Amazon?
And that's a huge advantage with like being the front end where people go.
Yeah.
They're going to have all that data. Yep. And now with the protocol, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they're going to know what's actually purchased.
Yep.
And so they're going to be able to fine tune results based off of that. They're going to be able to use that for ads.
Yeah.
And then with that, okay, I can continue to refine. And I just with that, and then along with all the other interactions that you have with it, I don't know. It's interesting to think, could ChatGPT find me better product recommendations based off of how I interact with it right now versus Amazon? And I'd always lean towards Amazon because it's like, this is based off of my actual purchases.
Yeah.
But man, ChatGPT is getting a lot more context just with all the random questions I'm asking.
Well, it almost makes me think of like how you used to be, and I think it still is, but like the affiliate links Amazon used to give out, and people would write blogs just to get you to buy something and get a cut.
Sure.
Right? Like that's almost what ChatGPT is, a writer writing personally for you who's incentivized for you to buy something. Like long term, like they make money if they would buy anything, and they're not giving out bids for advertising, but they still make more money the more you buy on their platform. And over time, what is that? How does that change how ChatGPT's experience is?
Sure.
Could be something interesting. Now, I think they have a bigger picture, they have a bigger vision of what they want to be than just a new marketplace to buy things at.
Mm-hmm.
But if that market becomes big enough where people are buying a lot on ChatGPT, then maybe it does become, we need to, maybe we do. And then it's a self-serving, it's kind of snowballs in that if we start making a lot of money with this, we're going to optimize to making this better. If ChatGPT is really good at finding you exactly what you want to buy, maybe they do become the place that, hey, we want to purchase. Or maybe, I don't know, I still think ChatGPT wants to build on this trust and this, hey, I'm your personal, almost friend, assistant, whatnot. Mm-hmm. And shopping is just one component of a bigger, broader thing.
Yep.
But maybe someone out there comes up with an LLM that's, hey, this is where you go to shop.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's Amazon. And maybe that's their opportunity is to, just like all the LLMs out there, like certain questions, I'm going to go to ChatGPT. If I have developer questions, I'm going to Claude.
Yeah.
If I have like, I want to build a plan, I go to Gemini, and get a Google Doc going.
Sure.
Does Amazon find a way to have an LLM that goes, I'm the shopping LLM?
Mm-hmm.
That could be interesting. I don't know if that's what they're thinking, but
yeah,
it's just kind of a
and it gets interesting too because you could have almost like the Amazon agent, which gets pulled in from your personal agent.
Yeah.
So all right, I initially go to ChatGPT. That's where I ask all my questions, and then there's different agents and there's different protocols for this too that they're developing on how these different specialized agents communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And so now I could say, all right, I need to complete a purchase. It could tie out with the Amazon agent. Could also tie out with other agents.
Yeah.
But then again, you're losing that front end control if you're Amazon, and now you're just another product that gets included there.
Yeah.
And so by not having that initial start of the control to be the starting point, that's where it gets really tricky.
Yeah.
And that's where people are gaining so much value on that. Well, we could talk about. We've got a lot more we can talk about.
Yeah, we could. Well, 2 hours. Great.
We haven't even covered ads, so maybe we'll have to do like a follow up on this on other items that we think that where this could go.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the type of conversations that Roger and I are having all the time as things continually change and update. It's fun. If you're listening to this and you've got a different perspective or a different take, like reach out, let us know. It's a really interesting space.
Yeah,
and it's changing very quickly. Yeah. So, well, appreciate you sitting down and letting us pick your brain. And yeah, you've all just listened into a typical Roger and Joe conversation in the dev den. So
often on a Friday.
yeah. So, well, as always, we really appreciate you listening to the Ad Project podcast, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
Yeah.